Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Rosie Victoria, and today you are diving into the Misfit Business Lounge daily podcast. Now, I say daily podcast, but it's been a little bit of time since I've dropped the juice here. However, I'm back, and if you're ready for all things spirituality, science, mind development, and scaling success in your soul-led business, then drop me a like and subscribe down below and stay tuned for more episodes. Today, we're going to be diving into scaling your business to six-figure launches. And this is a conversation that just gets me in my groove, which I feel is needed, by the way, because after doing school drop-off today, wild, absolutely wild. How is my baby? And I know a lot of you have been along for my parenting ride as well as my business ride. How is my baby going to school? I was looking back over, things that we documented, and I just sat and cried because we've actually vlogged unintentionally a lot of our parenting journey, which we're now starting to feature on the YouTube platform. But it was completely unintentional that we did that. And we went through all of our content that we had of the kids and parenting and just sitting and playing with the kids on the weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh, this has gone so fast. And I just sobbed. Then I made porridge and I sobbed some more. Then I tried to get myself motivated, sobbed some more. And I was like, listen, we gotta stop crying now. Let's have a different conversation. Let's bring some lightness to the mood and talk about money and six-figure launches. Okay, so I think the biggest reason why people flop their launches, not just in online businesses, but any businesses, is because they rush the process. Everybody is so quick to start thinking about how to sell and how to scale and how to make more money. But what people don't think about is the communication that they're sharing with their audience. And I think what's really important is really looking at where we are flopping as creators, as business owners, by not elevating the standard in which we put our name on. If you are a creator, you have to sit there and say, if I'm going to put my name on a product or a service, I want to know that I'm putting my name on something that I can be super proud of. And so there's going to be time and there's going to be intention spent on how I launch and how I communicate. And there's this misconception that you reach this point of success where none of that matters. And I blame this uprise of online coaches for this, where it's none of it matters. Just drop the email and people will buy if they're aligned. And it's bullshit, right? Because the reason I've been able to scale six-figure launches is not just by chance, is not just by fluke, is by being elevated in my communication. And in me being elevated in my communication, I've created more money. And so when I wanted to start receiving six-figure launches, I had to really sit there and say, how am I going to start thinking more strategically about my emails? Where am I going to elevate my workflows? How am I going to create funnel systems that don't sacrifice my soul, but also strategically bring in that fuck yes from my clients? And it's been in me realizing that actually I was scared of strategy for so long because it felt like this new standard of myself. And so I hid behind this communication of strategy feels heavy and it feels intense and it feels like it's going to lose my soul through the process. But actually strategy was here to elevate me and it was here to take me to the next level. And I had to get to that point where I felt really, really comfortable claiming myself through strategy. And it took me understanding where I was dropping the ball with communication, where I was just winging things and hoping for the best, where I wasn't really thinking about my launches. I think for the first couple of years of my business, not just my coaching business, but actually my massage business, I just winged it. I just waited for people to sign up. I just waited for people to book sessions with me. And yes, I'd put the content out there, but there was no intention. It was I'll wake up. What do I want to share today? What do I want to communicate today? And if you want to create a really hot funnel system where you're receiving sales and sales and sales, and there's hundreds of people signing up to your offer, you can't just be that flimsy with your communication. You have to think about each email sequence and how each email kind of backs up the other one, and it builds even more momentum for the offer that you have. And it's starting to think like that and get into that analyzing that allows you to elevate your business and reach the level of success that you desire. And it's funny, the reason why I've made such a pivot in my business structure and how I support my one-to-one clients is Because unless you've been in the game of elevation, you don't understand what is needed. I spent so many years of my life thinking that coaches and mentors were speaking in gibberish because they'd communicate things and I just wouldn't get it. Like, I just didn't understand it because I didn't know how to elevate. I didn't know how to communicate things differently. And it wasn't until I started to really do the deep work in communication, in psychology, in neuroscience, which I'm literally weeks away from starting to study my 4-year program in. It wasn't until then that I realized what it looks like. And so now when I sign a client one-to-one, yes, we work on the energy and we spend 6 weeks in these really deep dive containers where we're working on the energy. But also, like, I'm creating their workflows. I'm helping them with their funnel systems. I'm getting things ready to go. And my client this morning is sat on holiday with her twin boys and her beautiful little babe. And they're relaxing and sunning themselves. And I've just gone in and created her emails, 30-day workflows, scheduled them to send so that they go out over the next 30 days and she can just relax and surrender into mama mode. And like, that's the perk of having things organized, but also elevating the standard. It's not just let me put anything on the email. There's been an intention, and me and my team sat down and said, look, like, what's the energy here? What do we really need to prioritize through this workflow? And we made sure that the structure and the communication will come into the surface to the highest possible degree. So right now, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to pivot into 6-figure, 7-figure launches, you can absolutely do that. There's no reason why you cannot. We're in the age of social media. Anything is absolutely possible, but you have to look at the standard in which you're doing things and ask yourself the very hard questions of, is this standard gonna get me paid the way that I desire to be paid? Is this standard gonna build the momentum around my offer? Or are you just sprinkling things out there and waiting for people to buy? I cannot even tell you how many people have said to me, when people are in my offers, like, they get it, they see my value. But when they're not in it, there's like a miscommunication. And it's because you're not bringing that same language and that same authority and leadership to the surface as your launch process the way you are inside of the offer. And so you have to start thinking beyond and say, do you know what? This is not just about my offer being potent. It's also about my launch process being potent and giving across the energy that I want for myself. And so I have a very, very exciting thing to share here, because me and my team are constantly improving the way that we work, because my vision is always to have a soul-led business where I can drop the read-ins, I can drop into, neuroscience, mind development, success reprogramming, retraining yourself into everything that you desire, whilst also stretching you into the strategy. Because I see a blend between the mind and strategy, and I see a blend between science and spirituality. And so there's this like agency feel that's coming into my business alongside everything that I'm doing with my clients in the mind development, so that we can go in and we can create the things for you. And we've hired the best of the best to be able to do this. We've brought in some really epic people into our world so that we can let that trickle then into your businesses. So we are creating a funnel package where you get one funnel from us every 3 months of the next 12 months. So you would sign up on a 12-month basis. You'd get one funnel every 3 months where we'll help you to elevate your communication, your workflows, your email workflows, your written content, your lead generation. We are going to maximize your business and get you to your next 6 figures. So if you want to get your hands on that, what you need to do is email hello@misfitbusinesslounge.com and say, I'm ready. I'm ready for the funnels. And we will drop you all of the juice that we are creating.